Heinz tins of soup, 5 for £5, or £1.70 or £1.69 each. What happens if someone's only got £4? They can only afford 2 cans of soup at £1.70 a can. Absolutely unbelievable. Rip off Britain.
I try and refrain from being too rude in these reaction videos, but this guy's a muppet. Nobody is saying that Heinz isn't expensive or your other brands in the supermarket aren't expensive, but they never mention the alternatives, the cheaper options. This is around 57 pence. Asda Just Essentials. I'm using Asda as an example because I work there. So for 57 pence at the time of the recording, you can get a vegetable soup, or you can get a tomato soup, or a chicken soup. So the Heinz is going to be 2-3 times more expensive than that. You might be telling yourself that it's worth the extra cost to purchase the Heinz, in which case you just purchase your Heinz, get on with your life, and you don't moan about it. What I would say though is, like that guy said in the video, oh, if you've only got £4, you can only buy 2 cans of Heinz. No, if you're struggling and you've only got £4 in your pocket, then you buy 6-7 of these. Even if you don't love the taste as much as Heinz. Again, if you're struggling to save money, you've got £4 in your pocket, you get them down your neck. 57 pence is more than I would like to pay. It's more expensive than the 28 pence baked beans, but it's still better than paying £1 or £2 for Heinz. And I'm pretty sure most people who eat the supermarket owned version of food aren't going to vomit afterwards. In most cases, it's absolutely fine.
Does anybody else think $3.99 for Weetabix is just, for cereal, is just ridiculous? And I know it's branded, and Aldi's own make, I think it's about £1 cheaper, but it still uses wheat, still the same shit that they put in it. Surely, I just don't get the prices that brands are charging nowadays. Kellogg's cornflakes, Cheerios, things like that. The prices of cereal now is just daylight robbery.
So this lady acknowledges that there's cheaper versions of the Weetabix. So just purchase it and get on with your life. At the end, she says it's daylight robbery. No, it's not. These businesses can charge what they want. They're not running a charity. They're not putting a gun to your head. So you're in the supermarket, you just look at these brands, the prices with disgust, and then you go straight to the cheaper options, because there are plenty of cheaper options. I like my cereal, but I never buy branded products. Why would I? These are about £1 and 2 pence. I think these are about £1.60 for a packet of bran flakes. We pushed the boat out with these ones, I think about £1.80, because my partner really likes the strawberry parts in the cereal. And I'm a big fan of the porridge. £1 for that. Good stuff. It fills you up. So I'm trying to do these videos to get an opposing point of view, a little bit more of a sensible point of view, in a time where it's all moan. And there are plenty more options than the ones I've just shown. Off the top of my head, you can get fruit and fibre, high bran, you've got your Just Essentials granola, muesli, you've got your own version, supermarket own version of cornflakes. They have things like Choco Squares for £1. Oh, and of course, we can't forget the Weetabix. At the time of recording, £1.20, Asda Just Essentials for 24 Weetabix. Can we complain at that price? I don't think so. And no, I'm not sponsored by Asda making this video.
This is 8 cans of Coke for £6, 24 Tango for £7.50. I mean, just look at the prices here. Some of these bottles of pop, £1.50. Even crisps are a rip-off. Look at this, tin of peaches, £1 and 9p. And some fruit cocktail. Noodles used to be cheap, they're not anymore. You can't even get a box of cereal for less than £2. Don't even get me started on this pop. I mean, that's £1 or £2 more expensive than other supermarkets. Look at that, absolute rip-off. Even this bog roll, look at that, £9.50 for 16 rolls. Washing powder, absolutely disgusting. I mean, come on, what's happened to our prices? I know inflation and all of that, but I thought it was going down. These are double the price of most other places. Absolutely shocking.
Okay, we've definitely got another Muppet here. He's just going around the store, not even really processing the prices, just thinking he's clever. Oh, look at this price, look at this price, look at this price. For example there, he's referenced 24 cans being about £7.50. That's actually not bad. It looks like he's in Home Bargains. Well, Home Bargains is cheap for some products. Maybe you're going in for like the odd cleaning product or something, but it's not somewhere you probably want to be shopping for most of your food because they only provide, your branded goods. He's saying things like, oh, you can't get noodles cheap. Hold that thought. Asda Just Essential, about 50 pence. I'm not saying you should get in a habit of buying these, but if you fancied something like similar to a pot noodle without paying that price, that's a decent price. My partner gets those sometimes. He's saying you can't buy cereal for less than £2. Rewind the video. He's saying, oh, bottles of pop, £1.50. Well, let me show you what I've got in my cupboard. 50 pence from Asda, Coke Zero. If that's not good enough, Cherry Coke, 50 pence from Asda. If you don't like Coke, for an extra 30 pence, around the 80 pence range, you've got a variety of options. Cherryade, Iron Brew, ginger beer, all sorts of options. The guy is just a muppet, and it really frustrates me because they just go around the supermarket thinking they're clever, trying to get the views with all this negativity, but they don't really make sense. This is the funny part. He said there a couple of times, oh, this supermarket's a couple of pound more expensive than others, but it's double the price. Well, yeah, don't go there then, go to the other ones. And I do need to say this, somebody who's really struggling, someone who's got that £4 in the pocket, they probably shouldn't be buying any pop at all. That might sound a little bit depressing, but it is a luxury. I allow myself that slight luxury. I like a glass of Coke, maybe one a day, because I don't buy alcohol. I've got that little bit of extra funds. But if you're struggling, you probably shouldn't be buying any pop at all.
£82. £82. Is this an absolute joke? I'm shocked.
I don't think this lady will ever come across my video, but if she does, I just want to say, you're a joke. She's got a lot of branded stuff in there, and again, it's this, oh, I just spent £80. Show us your receipt and maybe we can analyse it. So just looking at that small clip, I saw Aunt Bessie's, a brand. Dolmio, a brand. There was some Nivea products, maybe some sun cream. She didn't mention that while she was moaning. Looked like she had a decent cut of like a big pork beef joint or something. I saw Kingsmill bread. Yes, only a loaf of bread, but you're probably spending double the amount on a Kingsmill bread compared to a supermarket bread. So I think you're a joke.
What the actual fuck? 2 bags of shopping, and as you can see, there's nothing remotely interesting in there. Well, there's a coffee that was £7, and I got a couple of hair dyes which were on offer, 2 for £14. But other than that, look, £65 for 2 bags of fucking shopping from Tesco. Wow.
Oh, we're starting to use the foul language now. So she acknowledges that she's bought some hair dye. So she's spent £50 on everything else. Again, we can't see exactly what's in the bag. We haven't got a receipt. But what I will say, for someone moaning about the cost of shopping, she's not acknowledged the mini eggs. I saw a cupcake mix. There was pretty fancy bread in there. So I'm not saying that what she's paid for isn't on the expensive side, but she's failing to acknowledge these pure luxuries. If you're struggling, you do not buy mini eggs, a cupcake kit, and you don't buy fancy bread. It's as simple as that. And can we just acknowledge the fact that, again, if you're struggling, you don't buy hair dye?
I fucking tell you what, my corner shop takes the piss, yeah, so I've just gone in to get some electric and I thought, ooh, look at them roses look nice. Mate, my corner shop wants £12.60 for a tin of roses, £12.60 for 1 box of roses, or 2 for a tenner. How does that even make fucking sense in this day and age when you can literally go down the road and pick up the exact same box of chocolates for £4 out of Asda?
We're getting a little bit more aggressive, so I hope this lady doesn't see this video because I might end up getting hurt. She had the answer at the end of her clip. If you don't like it, you go to Asda, you pay cheaper. These people working in a corner shop work long hours and they've got to make a living. She's saying, how does it make sense? Well, they have to charge higher prices because they're trying to earn a living. They can't compete with the likes of Asda in most cases. And she also referenced there that What, it was £12 for a tin, 2 for a tenner. Yeah, they want you to spend the 10 quid. But 2 for a tenner is not bad if you wanted to support that corner shop and if you couldn't be bothered to make the really long trek to Asda. It just sounds like she can't be bothered to walk, whatever it is for her, 5 or 10 minutes round the corner to Asda. She probably wants to just stay in her pyjamas and go to the corner shop and then moan about it.
£5 for the world's smallest grilled cheese. It's plastic cheese.
Hello.
This must have cost 10p to make, you robbing bastards.
£4.55, guys, for this tiny milkshake. A small. That's not small, that's minuscule. £4.50? Rip off. I am definitely going to KFC next time.
I just paid £1.95 for a steak bake. £1.95 now, mind. And it is cold. What have happened to Greggs? Remember one time when they was just over £1? Cold steak bake, £1.95.
So with these clips, they're obviously unhappy. They don't think it represents value for money. You've got a guy moaning about the price of a Greggs pasty, saying it was cold. Firstly, you've still chosen to make that purchase. Yes, you're allowed to be unhappy with the fact that you don't think it represents value for money. It's cold. So you can either complain that it's cold to the staff, or you just make a decision not to go back again. There's somebody with a £5 cheese pasty or something from Five Guys. Again, that's too expensive for me to purchase in the first place. Secondly, again, if you're not happy with it, you don't think it represents value for money, you don't go back again. There's another girl who'd purchased a £4.50 small drink. She expected it to be a little bit bigger. Again, don't go back, but she's still chosen to spend £4.50 for a small drink, which is very expensive. She finishes the clip by saying she'll go to KFC next time instead, which it might be a better drink, maybe a slightly bigger drink, but it just shows you she is somebody who has no problem spending money on drinks and then moaning about it afterwards.
I think WH Smiths wants to hang their head in fucking shame. Now, this is WH Smiths. Fair enough, it's in the airport, but they are charging £4.19 for a bottle of Pepsi Max. Just a 500ml bottle of Pepsi Max. So as you can see, they've also got the Lucozade at the same price because it was £8.18. They are taking the absolute piss. And us idiots, because we're in an airport, we want a drink, we're stupid enough to pay it. WH Smiths, you want to have a fucking word with yourself. Absolute daylight robbery. And companies like this want to hang their heads in shame, but they'll not because they're greedy. And they rely on stupid people like me to pay for it. No more. Absolutely no more. I'd rather drink water out the tap.
I think this is the Weetabix lady again. She seems okay, to be fair. She's saying at the end, no more. She's going to drink water. If that's the case, good for you. You're realising it's just too expensive. And yeah, she acknowledges that they're relying on idiots to pay the prices. Yeah, you're at the airport. Everyone knows it's inflated prices. If you don't like the price, you think it's a bit too much, you don't pay it. I don't pay those prices, just like when I'm on an aeroplane itself, I don't pay the prices. But generally, if I see people buying food on a plane or at the airport, they're not usually moaning about it. They've probably just got the attitude of, yeah, it's more expensive, but I'm on holiday. I just accept it and pay the price. Fair enough. You can't really pay the prices and then moan about it. And to say stuff like WH Smith should be ashamed, I don't think they are ashamed. They're a business. They're trying to make money. That's just capitalism.
£17.50 for a lemon and vodka, mate. That's 3 glasses. 60 quid nearly. That's mental. Get it down, yeah. Cheers, boys. It's Thailand 2025. 60 quid, that's about a fucking week's accommodation in Thailand.
See, I'm not going to criticise these guys because they know it's expensive, but they're just having a good time. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's better than making a purchase and just being angry, aggressive, moan. They know they've spent a lot of money, but it looks like they're having a good time. So that's their decision to make. I wouldn't pay for those drinks, but they've chosen to and they've accepted that decision. So fair play. Enjoy your holiday, right?
I can't believe it. I'm at Heathrow Airport. One bag of Maltesers is an incredible £2.99. That's got to be like £2.50 profit, right? It's food, so you don't pay VAT on it. It's incredible. I don't understand why the Brits are ripped off for absolutely everything, right? Those Maltesers, I think they're 98p or 99p in my local store. And here we are, £2.99 at Heathrow.
So yeah, it's people like this who annoy me. Whatever it was, £2.50 for Maltesers in the airport, it's £1 in the supermarket. You're allowed to take the food in with you, mate. You don't have to go to the airport to buy your Maltesers. You can buy them beforehand. And for somebody of his age, you know, it's not like it's a naive 21-year-old. It's a 50, 60-year-old bloke, and he's still puzzled that the airport charges more. What can I say to that? You're not getting ripped off, mate. You're only getting ripped off if you make the purchase. Again, no one is putting a gun to your head. And if you're really craving Maltesers, buy them beforehand.